Morales, Gaddis, and Gomez. Tonight, Astros ace Dallas Keuchel takes the mound to start an important weekend series against the LA Angels of Anaheim. Astros baseball is next on Root Sports. From Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball as the first-place Stros kick off an important three-game series with the Angels. Ace Dallas Keuchel deals the opening hand against veteran righty Jared Weaver. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. The Astros coming off a nice win Wednesday in Oakland to pick up a win there. Take an off day yesterday, pick up another half game as the Rangers lose, and now you can breathe a little bit. 2.5 games in front.
Yeah, real nice. Maybe a little new momentum, getting that big win coming out of Oakland, coming down here to Southern California with that day off, picking up that half game. Big series right here in L.A.
Dallas Keuchel goes to the mound tonight, and Dallas Keuchel obviously having a Cy Young-like season. Quite a bit of splits, though, this year in terms of home and away.
Yeah, we got to give a little credit to Jack in the Box, taking us inside the box scores. You see those splits, home and away, 16 homes. It's 16 home starts. I think A.J. Hinch knows that he wants Dallas Keuchel throwing at home for obvious reasons, and the numbers are larger away from Minute Maid Park. Doesn't make much sense, but against these Angels, 2-0, 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, 14 Ks, 2.84 ERA. So Dallas likes pitching in this ballpark and should be a good series against Los Angeles.
Coming up, Julian Morales takes a look at Hank Conger's hitting. Then we'll have the first pitch, so don't go away. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Texas Bay Credit Union. Texas Bay Credit Union is the official credit union of the Houston Astros. Join today. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. We are here in Anaheim, Angels Stadium. The Astros getting set for the first of 3 against the Angels. And it's a big series for both of these ball clubs. Do or die for the Angels, but the Astros trying to extend what now is a 2.5-game lead in the American League West. And we check in with Julia Morales to get a little more as we get started with tonight's game.
Hey guys, yeah, you set up Dallas Keuchel very nicely in the open. Hank Conger will be doing the catching tonight. We've seen his playing time go up a lot with Jason Castro on the DL, but everything's worked out for these Astros here lately. The way Hank's been swinging it at the plate, he's had a couple of great games here recently that he's hoping to build on. He's our AT&T Rewind in Oakland, having a nice couple of games. He was 3 for 7 in those 2 games, but that last game really contributing to the Astros' much-needed win before they took off for Anaheim. He had a 2-run single in the 4th, a sac fly in the 5th, and that was off of a switch pitching, Pat Venditti at the time, and then another RBI single in the 9th of that game to just really put the A's away. So having a lot of confidence coming into this series is always good for Hank and everybody else, but Hank, a Southern Cal guy whose parents live at Huntington Beach, was able to spend the day with them, so much relaxed, but you know he wants the opportunity to show what he can do in front of his old team, the Angels, as well as friends and family. Another thing, guys, before I toss it up to you, Hank Conger really trying to shake things up with this Astros club recently, trying to get them going, especially after a rough couple of games against the A's. Said in order to do that, he told Preston Tucker to break some gummy bears out with you if somebody homers. Well, Evan Gattis homered, and Tucker fed him gummies. They also hit 3 more home runs that night. So gummy bears, Hank Conger was behind it just to get this group loose, guys. That'll tell you a little bit about Hank Conger and his role on this team, whether he's playing or not playing. They're feeding him gummies, whatever works, guys. But this is a really fun, loose group as they head into this Angels series.
Thanks a lot, Julia. And what otherwise will get you quite as loose as a handful of gummy bears slammed down your throat?
I'm not sure. I would like to try some other options first, but whatever it takes right now. It was fun to watch that last Wednesday game.
Let's take a look now at the Astros lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines for A.J. Hinch. Here in Game 1 against Jared Weaver, George Springer leads it off. He'll be in right field, followed by second baseman Jose Altuve and the shortstop Carlos Correa. Middle part of the order, center fielder Carlos Gomez. Jed Lowry's at third, and in left field, Colby Rasmus. And the bottom 3, the DH tonight, Luis Valbuena. Marwin Gonzalez at first base, and doing the catching, Hank Conger.
For the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, it will be right-hander Jared Weaver. Has 137 career wins with the Angels. He's second on that list behind Nolan Ryan, who has the Angel record with 138 wins. Defense behind Jared Weaver. Shane Victorino out in left. Mike Trout in center. Cole Calhoun in right. Third baseman David Freese. Shortstop Eric Ibar. Taylor Featherston at second base. C.J. Cron at first. And Carlos Perez, ex-Astro farmhand, catching.
So the Astros start the night, as we said, 2.5 games in front of the second-place Texas Rangers. These Angels are 5.5 back. They're just a game over 500 at 70 and 69. The Astros start the night 76 and 64.
Thanks, Tony. Let's take a look at the key to the game, brought to you by your Houston area Chevy dealers. Astros need to be patient. Jared Weaver throws about 17 different pitches, all kinds of different velocities, and not very hard. Fastball ranges about 83 to 85 miles an hour. So these guys have to be patient. He's going to nibble on the corners, doesn't leave too many pitches up out over the plate. But when he does, and if these guys are patient enough, they need to unload.
84 miles an hour on that first fastball. That one on the outside edge, down more toward the knees as Springer grounds out to shortstop. So 1 out into the evening. Jose Altuve will come to the plate looking for his 800th Major League hit already. And when he gets number 800, he will be the fastest Astro ever to get to that mark.
It's an amazing number, but I'm not all that shocked.
No. There are some great names on the list, but not the kind of guys that won batting titles and put up 225 hits in a single season as Altuve did a year ago. Altuve hitting .311, shows bunt and takes a strike. So Weaver has brought a strike on each of the first 2 hitters. And if he's going to come up in the strike zone in the low to mid 80s, I would suggest it might be time to jump on him with that pitch.
want to make Jared work. Make him throw a lot of pitches, get into that Angels bullpen.
Pitch is hammered left center field deep. Going back to the wall. It is off the wall. Altuve has number 800. It's a double. And it comes with one out here in the first inning.
That's it, isn't it? Throw that ball out. That's that high fastball you're talking about there,
yeah.
Ash. Get that elevated semi-cheese and rocket it into left center.
Yeah, for me, I just as soon chase him very early in the ball game by ramming some of these pitches.
Yeah, that ball came right back to him also.
29 doubles for Altuve, and he just misses getting out of here.
And I misquoted earlier. I said that Jared Weaver had 137 wins, second behind Nolan Ryan in Angels history, but I was wrong. Nolan is has the second most wins with 138. He's behind Chuck Finley, who has 165 wins for the Angels of a certain Southern California region.
It fluctuates. They used to be the team of California. They have played for Anaheim, and now they currently reside in LA.
Take your word for it.
Of course, Nolan Ryan moved on to the Astros in 1980 and was all Texas after that. He had 3 no-hitters in his Angels days. Correa takes a strike on the breaking ball. It's 2-1. By the way, the Texas Rangers are 73-66. 2 more losses than the Astros. Just off the inside edge. 3-1 now on Correa.
Take a look at that last pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone. Weaver trying to cut that one back at 80 miles an hour. Didn't get it.
Correa 0 for his last 9. Taps one third base side. It'll be a tough play, and it won't be handled, and should be an infield single. That'll snap the 0 for 9. It'll be runners at first and second. Is a single now for Correa.
Number off the end of the bat. This is a tough play. That ball was moving relatively well down the line. But anytime you see an infielder go after it with the bare hand, the official scorer will usually rule base hit.
Which I feel a lot of times the infielders know that fact.
Well, I was just going to say veteran move by David Freese.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to take the error.
And David Freese has been good defensively this year. The Angels don't have any major flaw areas, unlike what we just saw in Oakland, where the left side of the infield had a miserable season. And now Carlos Gomez, he's not shy. Got a bit of a hanger and somehow managed to keep the helmet on his head. 2 runners aboard. High in the air, center field. Easy for Trout. Altuve's back to the bag. Catch is made. Altuve bluffs. And a good throwing arm from Mike Trout. That's 2 outs and brings up Jed Lowry.
There you go. Some congratulations for Altuve. Does his bobblehead hit counter go that high?
It better, because there's going to be a lot more to come.
I was going to say they're going to have to add another digit on that pretty soon.
But Jed Lowry 0 for his last 9 stands in. Lowry hitting .241. Now that's off speed at 67.
Yeah, you're not going to get pulled over with that kind of speed.
Not even Sammy Hagar. See the reference being I can't drive 55, but then we'll move on from there. Fouled on the left side. It's 0-2. By the way, since 2009, Jared Weaver leads the American League with an ERA of .242 in that span. That all at home. And only Clayton Kershaw with a 1.94 ERA at home is lower in the major leagues again since 2009. So Weaver has been really Mr. Steady and Mr. Winner for the Angels. Close but high. It's 1-2.
He's been good here at Anaheim too. How about the last time he faced the Astros here was back on May 8th. He threw a complete game 9-hit shutout. Threw 120 pitches in that game.
And again called high. It's 2-2. Weaver doesn't walk many. In fact, he's walked one or fewer batters in 14 of his last 21 starts.
He has 10 starts with no walks.
He'll stay in the strike zone. There goes Altuve and Correa as the pitch is fouled back. So on the 2-2, the Astros go ahead and put the running game on.
Not a bad idea. I'm sure Altuve kind of peeked in and realized Lowry was getting an off-speed pitch. Maybe get things in motion. He moved Correa over there at first base, and Jed shoots a gap. Correa's going to score pretty easy.
The Astros continue number one in the league in stolen bases with 104. And again fouled off. Weaver's a bit like Mike Fiers in that he'll bring a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone. Not quite the same velocity that Fiers has.
I was going to say, though, I mean, 83 to 85 up in the zone.
And I was underlining a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of big league hitters that would be chomping at the bit to be in the lineup.
There go the runners again. Pitch is high, and it'll be a double steal. Angels don't even contend on that when the third baseman Freese stayed in position.
Well, I think judging by how Weaver is paying attention to the base runners and watch the motion from Jared Weaver. High leg kick. He is a big, tall, lanky guy. It takes him a while to unfold to go towards home plate. So that combined with an off-speed pitch, easy to steal a bag.
37 stolen bases for Altuve, who leads the league. Breaking ball popped up. Shallow into right center field. Featherston, the second baseman, puts it away, and that'll do it. The Astros get a couple of hits, couple of stolen bases, leave runners at second and third after a half an inning, scoreless. Got some Astros fans on hand. That lineup for the Angels tonight of Mike Scioscia. Right fielder Cole Calhoun leads it off, followed by the center fielder Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. He's the DH, been bothered by a sore toe. Middle three, C.J. Cron at first. At third, David Freese. And the shortstop, Eric Ibar. The bottom three, left fielder Shane Victorino. Carlos Perez doing the catching. At second base, Taylor Featherston.
Lefty Dallas Keuchel going for your Houston Astros. Can't say too many good things about him the way his year's going. You see his 9 starts against the Angels. He's 6-1. He's also the AL leader in WAR. Ranks tied for first in wins, second in ERA with that 2.29.
Cole Calhoun has been playing very well for the Angels. Swings and misses. Falls behind in the count. He's hit an 8 straight coming in. Doesn't seem that long ago. Maybe it's not. July 28th, the Angels came into Houston. They had been a hot team other than over the previous 4 days where they had lost 3 of 4 coming in. But they were 1 game out of first place. The Astros swept the Angels away in 3 games. Colin McHugh got the win in the first game, a 10-5 victory, as the count is now 1-2. And the Angels left town tails between their legs and 4 games back, and they have not been heard from since. Since that point, the Angels are 15-26. You count in those previous 4 days, just mentioned, 16-29. So they're not a team that has been hot, to say the very least.
Do you know who's last in the American League as far as batting average is concerned for a team? Even behind the Astros?
Behind the Astros.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Thought you might be going there.
Yep.
Slider misses, 2-2. Well, the Astros have been anywhere between 12th and 15th all season long. But it's an intriguing stat, no doubt. Just getting a piece, Calhoun. The Angels are hitting .244 as a club, dead last. The Astros at .245, just in front of them. At the top of the heap, and this gets maybe even more intriguing. The Tigers lead the league in hitting at .271, and a lot of rumors floating right now that Brad Ausmus could be in jeopardy of his job there managing the Tigers. Again, tapping at foul, Calhoun. Also at .271, the Kansas City Royals, and they're a shoe-in now for some rather postseason play this year. And since they have the best record, if they maintain that, they will play the winner of the play-in for the wild card teams. Just inside, that'll fill it. If the season were to end today and the Astros got into postseason play, they would be playing the Toronto Blue Jays, who own a 1.5 game lead over the Yankees in the American League East. Ground ball left side, vacated there with the shift on. And Calhoun has done this a number of times this year against Houston pitching. So he leads it off with a base hit.
It was a professional at bat by Cole Calhoun, fighting off some pitches off the edges. Eventually just punches a ground ball through that shift, but a 9-pitch at bat for Cole Calhoun. Defense for your Houston Astros: Colby Erasmus out there in left, Carlos Gomez in center, George Springer in right. On your left, Jed Lowry at third, Carlos Correa at short, working with Jose Altuve at second base. Marwin Gonzalez with his bat is going to be back out there at first base, and Hank Conger doing the catching.
Angels don't run a lot. They're 14th in stolen bases as Mike Trout takes a strike. And Mike Trout has had his struggles in recent times. You may recall he was the MVP again of the All-Star game this year, homered in his first at bat. Has a 1-1 count. Overall hitting .293. And his numbers are spectacular. 34 homers, driving in 76. But since that All-Star break, has not been the same Mike Trout. Trout since August 1st in 37 games, just 2 home runs. And we just mentioned 34 on the season, 9 RBIs and a .225 batting average. There's a strike taken. Both strikes here from Keuchel taken by Trout.
Trout hit 308 off Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel coming into this game has a bomb, but he's also punched out 9 times.
Struck out more than anybody in the American League a year ago. And now a 3-2 count. Back-to-back hitters now for Keuchel, working it all the way. Trout has made the All-Star team 4 consecutive years. He's been an MVP and twice voted second as he pops it down the right side. Long run for Springer. And can't get there. In fact, Trout was second in the MVP voting back in 2012 when he won the Rookie of the Year award. Month plus ago, most people had all but conceded the MVP award to him this year. Taps it foul. Dallas Keuchel really being forced to work here in the first inning. But it would appear now from most folks that Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays has soared into the lead in that MVP talk.
Kind of helps when your ball club's playing that well too up in Toronto. You get the right kind of attention.
Donaldson leads the league in RBIs at 115. 37 dingers on the year. And taken right there. Strike 3 called. Mike Trout caught again. And this has been a big story from Mike Trout.
This one just locks him up. Keuchel did a great job in that situation to be able to throw that little cut piece on that inner third. It's a benefit of the call. But I don't think Mike Trout had any answer for that right there. You can see he knew it by the way he walked off.
I'm going to bring up Albert Pujols, who has now pretty much conceded to the DH role. Again, a sore right toe has given him a lot of problems. Pujols hitting .248.
Albert's had all kinds of feet issues. Had that plantar fasciitis last year. I believe he had to have surgery on that. Now he's got an issue with Sergeant Holka. Got to clean that up.
He takes a strike. 35 home runs on the year and 83 RBIs. So he's still slugging it.
In an interview earlier in the year, he credited that to the fact that he had his lower half more involved because he was 100% healthy. Check it.
Half swing as he fouls it.
Oh, so he went.
I'm going to say so. I'm also going to say with Albert Pujols at the plate, some first base umpires might say no, he did not go.
Oh yeah. The machine.
That one bounces in front of the plate. Conger no play at second as moving up on a wild pitch is Cole Calhoun. And you wonder how much the Angels might try to employ that running game. It's been an ongoing story, but Conger has thrown out just one all season long.
Would have been a tough. That ball was absolutely spiked by Dallas Keuchel. You don't see that too often. That ball bouncing well out in front of home plate.
Ground ball hit to short. Correa's there to make the play and just kind of jogging it down the line. Pujols. 2 outs as moving to third base is Cole Calhoun. It brings up the cleanup man, C.J. Cron. Cron, another one of the guys the Angels have been counting on. 11 homers, 39 RBIs. But when Mike Trout is not producing, it requires some of the other guys in the lineup.
How about this? Crone hasn't played the full season up here in the big leagues, but he has 39 RBIs. 18 of them have come against Texas. So that tells you 21 RBIs against everybody else he's played against.
So he's one of those guys, and of course Astros fans probably have some of those guys. They go, why is it that everybody else can get this guy out but we can't? And there's that type of story around the major leagues all the time. 2 balls and a strike on Crone. David Freese, the third baseman, waits on deck. Crone's a local guy. He's from Fullerton, California. So he went to high school in Phoenix and attended University College, I guess they call it here in the United States. Yeah, at the University of Utah. So he's been all over the place. And down on strikes. Keuchel gets him his second strikeout of the inning. Leaves a man on third base. We have played 1 and a scoreless game in Anaheim.
Outdoors have teamed up to help you show your team spirit. Starting tomorrow, stop by a participating Academy Sports and Outdoors store to pick up your free Houston Astros Crush City yard sign while supplies last. Visit rootsports.com/yard signs for a list of participating stores. Quantities are limited, so get yours fast before they run out. Guys.
Thank you, Julia. Take a look at that last strikeout from Keuchel.
See him getting on the side of that slider thanks to Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm, and that's been a good pitch for Dallas Keuchel.
Start the second inning. 6-hitter Colby Rasmus leads off. The Astros had 2 hits in the first inning. Jose Altuve doubled off the wall in left field, hit number 800 of his career. Carlos Correa had an infield single, and the Astros picked up a double steal, but couldn't get on the board. Ball and a strike on Rasmus. Slow curveball with the shift on. Hit to the second baseman. And the play made by Featherston, out number 1.
You watch Jared Weaver's stuff, and then you see the numbers, and it doesn't really correlate. He has lost some miles per hour in the last couple years, but how about the first 9 years of his career? He's had a winning record in every season of the first 9 years. That might have a lot to do with it right there, that bottom line with the ERAs by season. Right now, this season in 2015, he's 6-10. Might be the first time he finishes with a sub 500 plus record.
Luis Valbuena takes the slow curveball. And Weaver has been a 20-game winner. He won 20 while losing just 5 in 2012. And he was one of the dominant pitchers in the game at that time. Check swing and a dribbler. Perez with the play, 2 outs quickly. It'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez. In fact, even just last year, Weaver went 18-9. And quite frankly, the stuff wasn't a whole lot different than we're looking at right now.
Yeah, he was an upper 80s guy, but his delivery for me was deceptive. I had a chance to face him a couple times in spring training, and it was a little bit awkward just because he steps so far towards that third base side, and then his arm comes flying across his body. And he's, like we said, he's tall, lanky. That long arm kind of whips across his body back at you. But still, when a pitch is coming in there 80 to 85 miles an hour, you have enough time to adjust.
82 miles an hour on a first pitch fastball. Well, for me, that kind of equates to batting practice. Bunt on the first base side, pretty good bunt. And nobody there to toss it to, so Marwin Gonzalez gets a 2-out bunt single here in the second.
Marwin just finds ways to get hits. Good job of laying it out there, but look at how quick Marwin is. Beats Jared Weaver easy. You know, and getting back to that 82-mile-an-hour first pitch, as a ball player, your imagination, your gears are geared for 90-plus miles an hour. You go into a game and your first pitch is 82 miles an hour down the middle, I think all of us would flinch. Just because you're not anticipating. You read the reports, you're like, there's no way. And then you see it and you're like, holy cow, I saw that for about a second and a half.
How far do you think Weaver would get through right now a tryout camp throwing this stuff?
Oh, he'd get a couple looks.
You're being kind, I think.
No, it would be interesting.
Hank Conger at the plate.
But his track record speaks for itself. He goes out there and competes. But I just, you know, I feel that at this level, it should be a matter of time before big league lineups figure out how to hit Jared Weaver throughout the course of a game.
Two balls and no strikes.
We've all faced guys that throw hard, don't throw hard, but, you know, mentally for me, I would have to tell myself, sit changeup, and imagine his fastball as that changeup in order to slow things down a little bit.
The game I used to play is I'd just say it's batting practice.
And that's one way to relax the hands and not try and rush things.
Goes Marwin, the throw down, a good one, and they've got him. Perez can really throw from behind the plate. So the Astros caught stealing here to end the second inning as only 3 come to the plate. We played an inning and a half, a scoreless game.
day. It's from Dallas Keuchel, the guy on the mound right now, saying, I think every series from here on out is pretty big. I think we need to start playing with a sense of urgency just because it seems like everybody else is playing well. Guys, these players are getting asked about the playoff push every single day they're in that clubhouse, and they continue to say, we know what's going on around us, but we have to just take it one day at a time, one series at a time. But they are well aware of the importance of these games and what it means for this team at this time of year to come through for each other, to help each other out. So they're all in a very good place, feeling good, especially coming off an off day and that good win leaving Oakland.
Thank you, Julia. 2.5 game lead over the Texas Rangers. Just below the knees. It's a ball and a strike.
Well, how great is it? You win Wednesday. You finally get out of the Oakland Mausoleum with a win. Have a day off to enjoy it. And then you have Dallas Keuchel starting the series here in Anaheim. That's a pretty good 3-day stretch. And you picked up that half game with Texas yesterday.
Yeah, that's a pretty good spot to be in. I think sometimes it's kind of tough to see the forest for the trees when you're in that spot, because it is so much about today's ball game. Lance McCullers goes tomorrow against Hector Santiago. That's an 8:05 start Houston time. And down on strikes is David Freese. Third strikeout already for Dallas Keuchel. So he's on a roll with the punch outs. Eric Ibar will stand in.
Showing a good slider. He's got that down and in working. It's tough as a hitter because right-handed, you see that pitch up, out over the plate. You anticipate giving it a good pass, and by the time you start, it's already breaking down towards that back foot.
Mentioned Lance McCullers tomorrow, 8:05 start, 2:35 on Sunday. To close out this series. Mike Fiers goes against Andrew Heaney. And it could be like fire around here.
Yeah, it's fitting that his name is Fiers and he has to pitch that day game where it's been 95 plus.
How about the West Coast here on this trip? It has just been smoking. Shot down the left field side. Extra bases for Ibar as he'll jog it into second. And that might have cost him as the ball got away from Colby Rasmus. It's a 1-out double.
These corners here in Anaheim are similar to Dodger Stadium. They kind of get down to the foul pole and start to round around the base of the wall a little bit. Makes it a little tough for outfielders, especially corner outfielders. But this is a cutter that Ibar gets on top of and just rakes down that third base line. You can see it just tracks that wall. Really no place to go for Colby Rasmus, but eventually tracks it down, keeping Ibar at second base.
24 doubles for the Angels shortstop. Shane Victorino stands in. He's been struggling, 0 for his last 11. The flying Hawaiian, 34 years of age. Victorino just 1 home run with the Angels. It's a ball and a strike. Playing with the Boston Red Sox earlier in the season. In fact, the last 3 years with the Red Sox. Prior to that, the Philadelphia Phillies. "12 years in the major leagues." But a lot of people couldn't tell you he started with the Padres.
Yeah. He was one of those Rule 5 guys, I believe.
One season with the Padres, played just 36 games in 2003. 2004 was not in the big leagues. And from there on, the Phillies took over as the home residents for Victorino.
A pretty good run while he was there, too.
He's a lifetime .275 hitter. 108 home runs. And for most of his career, a switch hitter. But last year started hitting just right-handed. With the Angels, a 186 mark. Strike 3 is called. And 4 strikeouts now for Dallas Keuchel.
Just Massaging that outside corner is Dallas Keuchel, down and away. According to our strike zone, it barely nips that edge, but Alfonso Marquez has a tendency to let that zone expand a little bit when he feels necessary to give a good punch out. Much to my delight.
Carlos Perez at the plate. As Blummer mentioned earlier, former Astros farmhand, and now settling in as the pretty much everyday catcher for the Angels.
No, right here, Conger and Perez traded for each other.
That's right. One and 0 the count. Perez hitting .229. As always, pretty much a sea of red when you come to Anaheim. And now 3-0. First base open. Taylor Featherston waits on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. So that will put runners at first and second. The 9-hitter Taylor Featherston comes to the plate. Featherston hitting .169, so that may have been intentional all the way. Featherston from the Houston area, attended Texas Christian University. Tapper back to the mound. Dallas Keuchel knocks it down and now has no play. And that's hard to figure out what happened with that Gold Glove.
He planked it. Not sure if he lost sight of it when he left his feet. But this is a play we've seen Keuchel make many a time.
I'd go so far as to say rather routine for Keuchel.
Just a little hop, but as he went up, miscalculated where that ball was, hit him right in the heel.
Yep. Yeah, I think he over jumped it, and I think you're right there. There's a chance he just lost that baseball. So that's going to load him up. A couple of hits and a walk. 2 outs, and now the dangerous leadoff man, Cole Calhoun. Well, excuse me, this has been ruled an error and should be. Calhoun aggressive tonight, swinging on that first offering a couple of times.
Actually a little shocked he missed it by so much. Trying to replay that in my head.
That bat is done for the night.
Keuchel's got that good slider, but it's so tough. As a hitter, you want to try and elevate that pitcher, see it up out of his hand, but his release point is so consistent with the fastball changeup slider that, and the downward action he gets on that slider, that almost looks like a fastball coming out of his hand, yet it's breaking. That's why you get some of those big swings and misses sometimes. His ability to change speeds on that slider is what impresses me most.
When you see a guy having a season like Keuchel, and not many guys do you also assume that along with good stuff there may be some deception involved?
Yeah, there's got to be something going on. Bigger the beard, harder it is to see the pitch.
Could be the key. It's now 1-2.
They did a good job of getting in the kitchen of Cole Calhoun. Tried to go back right there. Good place to miss. So now it makes you wonder if he's going to try and go with that slider down and away, or if he's going to try and stay in the kitchen of Calhoun, not let him get extended.
Calhoun grounded one through the left side his first at bat.
Went to the slider. It's only the second inning, but this is a big AB right here.
2-2 that count. And the pitch in the dirt kicks away from Conger, and that is going to produce the game's first run. It'll be the second wild pitch of the night, all ready for Dallas Keuchel. 1-0 Angels.
Slider down. Again, he spiked it, but you start throwing pitches in that other batter's box, you don't know where it's going to kick as a catcher. There's holes being dug in there. There's cleat marks. All kinds of fun stuff to deal with. Conger did the best he could.
That hurts when the first run scores on a wild pitch, especially for Dallas Keuchel when he just got done committing an error on what would have been the final out of the inning.
Well, we talked about how tough that series was in Oakland when they were giving the other team extra outs.
Through that left side once again, 1 run scores. Throw to the plate, and not in time. Able to score Taylor Featherston. A 2-run single for Calhoun. And with this tough inning for Dallas Keuchel, it's now 3-0 Angels on top.
Wearing out that side where nobody is standing with that shift on. Colby Rasmus was actually playing pretty shallow, came in and threw a strike to home plate. But you could see Conger going out in front of home plate. May have allowed Featherston to get a hand in there. They need to take a couple more looks at that. That's why there's a little bit of a meeting going on the mound right now. And what do you got?
It's really close. Watch the fingers of Featherston and the glove at the same time. Where's the contact made? It's hard to tell. Boy, that's really close.
I was going to say, and again, we say it over and over, is there enough there to overturn the call by Alfonso Marquez?
Yeah, to me, that's one of those, again, where, as you're saying, if it had been called out, would they have overturned it the other direction?
Yeah, there's got to be something definitive. They're showing the highlights here in the stadium. Not a reaction from these fans out here. They might be just as concerned as we are. That would be a big out. But again, going back to the ground ball, Keuchel walking Carlos Perez to get to Featherston, gets the number back to the mound where a play is usually made, is clanked, leads to that extra out that you give a team like the California Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They capitalize on it. It seems like every mistake the Astros have made in Oakland and now here in Anaheim has come back to haunt them. Great throw by Colby.
So with that review going on, the umpire's taking a good look at the big board here in Anaheim while the folks back in New York at their peak. But watching the play they just showed up on the big board in Anaheim, that's going to be a tough one to overturn.
It really is. How about the impressive chaw that Alfonso Marquez has in? Look at that. Jeez. Surprised if you get the headset on with that. Just gnawing on a softball. This is the beauty of replay for me right here, is the amount of time it takes to do it so that we get to hang out a little bit more and talk about things like chews and chaws and pieces of bubble gum.
Let's assume this wasn't going on, that we go back a couple of years ago. Would you have a manager out there kicking dirt and yelling? And
that would be exciting.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So, yeah, this is
but
rather extreme right here.
Well, I mean, and they're working on getting the call right.
Yep.
What you would have a couple years ago is a manager screaming and yelling, firing everybody up, putting on a good show, and then it would be resumed baseball. Here, they're actually going to confirm the call is right for the integrity of the game or overturn it. So the benefit from this is a little bit better for the game, but entertainment value, really not giving you much.
Well, I feel like they can do it a lot more quickly in New York, and I hear you, and you're right about trying to make sure you get it right in New York, but I'm not sure how many times it takes to watch the same series of replays to make that decision. Yeah, we mentioned it. Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire. And they have now decided it is a safe call. So it's a 3-0 Angels lead. Twice tonight, Cole Calhoun has gone through the left side. And I don't know how many times over the course of this season and last, but Cole Calhoun has made a living out of going through that left side against the Astros.
Take a couple looks at it again and again. You're looking for something that's going to tell you that he is absolutely out. And there you can't see the contact until he gets around the belt of Featherston, and it looks like the hand is on the edge of home plate by the time he gets the tag on.
We've talked a lot of times about Brad Ausmus and what I viewed as the best technique in the game of getting outs at the plate, where he would take that glove, he would be dropped to a knee, and quickly throw the glove right in front of home plate, so that all you could do at that point was slide in, dive into the glove. That reach can cost time.
And Brad had a good idea of where he was set up. He had really good awareness of where home plate was, so when he did make that catch, he knew exactly where to go.
Mike Trout at the plate. 2-0 the count. Struck out looking in the first. And has a 3-0 count. They recall that last outing for Dallas Keuchel. That was a victory over the Minnesota Twins. 8 innings. He struck out 12, but he also allowed 3 home runs in that one. That one at Minute Maid Park. Up until the last couple of starts for Keuchel at home, he had not allowed a home run there all season. And now the walk.
This pitch count is concerning me a little bit for Dallas Keuchel. He's a workhorse. His last 6 consecutive starts, he's gone at least 7 innings. But here he's got 54 pitches in the bottom of the second with 2 outs.
And now Albert Pujols comes to the plate. Brings that changeup at 81 for a called strike. And gets in front 0-2. Spotting it well here on Albert Pujols. As with Mike Trout, the numbers have dropped off for Pujols here in the second half. He had an .855 OPS in the first half, .696 in the second half. As he goes down on strikes, that'll do it. 3 strikeouts in the inning, but a very costly error for Keuchel. A wild pitch, and when it's all said and done, the Angels put 3 on the board and lead it by that figure.
Minute Maid Park for Boot Scoot and Barbecue on September 19th. This event features a pregame street festival, barbecue contest, and country music. Fans must have a valid ticket to the A's Astros games to enter. For more info, visit astros.com/BBQ. Ash?
Thank you, Julia. BBQ sounds kind of good right now. Probably about anything would sound good to Dallas Keuchel after that last half inning. 3-0 Angels. Hank Conger was at the plate when Marwin Gonzalez was caught stealing. So Hank leads it off, and the slow curveball at 65 has Conger waving in front. Jared Weaver last picked up a win at Detroit against the Tigers July 25th. But even in that win, he allowed 6 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. Strike 3 called inside corner at the knees. That's the first strikeout recorded by Weaver, out number 1.
Look at that bottom line. That's what I was kind of curious about. Expected those numbers to maybe jump a little bit with as hard as Weaver throws, but first, second, third time through, that second time it jumps to 287, but if he gets to that round of 3, brings it back down to 245. So he makes those in-game adjustments, works with his catcher.
Off the end of the bat, it's going to dunk in center field. George Springer. First pitch swinging, has himself a base hit. 1 for 2 on the night. A 1-out single brings up Jose Altuve, who picked up hit number 800 in his career back in the first inning.
What I like about George's swing is that he does stay through it. He sometimes gets a little wild with the swing, but you can see when he gets to that contact point, he stays through it. He doesn't cut that swing off. He's not in the zone, out of the zone very quick. He does a good job of staying back up the middle. Caught that one off the end of the bat, but because he stayed through it, turns into a knock.
That hit number 800 for Altuve was his 29th double of the year. The Astros have a couple of stolen bases. Double steal in the first inning. That was Altuve and Correa. But then a caught stealing. Marwin Gonzalez thrown out to end the second. Altuve had 170 hits on the year. With tonight's game 22 to play. And then you think about last year, 225 hits. What a year. Breaking ball slam but foul. He led the league in hits. He led in batting average, led the major leagues at 341, led in stolen bases 56. And with all of that, wound up 13th in the MVP voting.
Should have been higher.
Ground ball left side. Ibar able to get the out at second base. That's all they'll get with the speed of Altuve going down the line. Fielder's choice. Springer erased 6-4, and it brings up Carlos Correa.
I just wanted to watch the replay on Ibar. You see him juke left,
yep,
then move back to the right to make the play.
I think he saw the location of the pitch and kind of thought Altuve might go up the middle.
That happens.
Carlos Correa had an infield single in the first inning. Snapped an 0 for 9. And hitting .276. Big slow curveball.
That speed right there is what it looks like to big league hitters. Looks like it's never going to get there.
Altuve certainly a threat to run. Ball and a strike on Correa, sitting on 17 home runs. And as you might guess with Weaver, generally speaking, he's been easy to run on. 19 stolen bases, 5 have now been caught on him this year. 2-1 the count.
All that talk about Carlos Correa swinging a bigger bat because of the recommendation he got from Orlando Cepeda. I wonder if that pays off facing a guy like Weaver. This kind of slows things down a little bit. Let the weight of the bat get through the zone and crush that thing.
There goes Altuve. The pitch popped foul on the right side. Long run in right field. Calhoun, he gets there. And that'll do it. Correa flies out. The Astros get a hit and leave a man. On the anniversary of September 11th, 2000.
Has been a money pitch for him in the last couple of years. Made the adjustment last year, going strictly to that slider, taking a little speed off, putting a little more break on it, throwing the hard one every now and then. But it's been a great pitch for him. He's been successful. Some of it might be rubbing off on Kazmir a little bit. The reason we talk about it is right here. Give you a little graphic on it. First half of the season, only threw it 17% of the time. Then it jumps up in that second half.
Ground ball on the backhand side. Lowry with the play, and out number 1 here in the 3rd inning.
Get a chance, we'll scope it again, give everybody a chance at home to look at it. The usage is up, and the reason is the number on the right. With percentage going up. He's doing a better job of locating it, changing speeds on it. Guys are swinging and missing.
Maybe accounting for the 5 strikeouts tonight. That's just the second ground ball out recorded by Dallas. David Freese at the plate, 5-hitter for the Halos.
And it's a grind. You're going to have these innings throughout the course of the season that blow up on you, even though Dallas Keuchel is going for that Cy Young and you want him to pitch perfect the rest of the way to secure that thing. I think you get the chance to see the guys poise a little bit and see if you can keep the Angels right here and allow enough time for the Houston Astros offense to adjust to Jared Weaver and get him back in this ball game.
This is the sort of number that not going to make Dallas Keuchel happy at all right now, but the 3 runs against him tonight, unearned, and all because of that error he committed himself. But right now, that's the difference in the ball game.
That's how you win ERA titles.
Sonny Gray, by the way, with that outstanding effort, 7 shutout innings against the Astros on the recent trip in Oakland, overtook Dallas for the ERA lead in the league. Out on the hands, little looper dropping for a base hit. 1-out single for Freese brings up Eric Ibar. Good time to check in with Julia.
2016 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Guarantee your seats for a potential 2015 postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets today. Visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Ash?
Julia, you blending in with red down there tonight?
Me? I'm wearing blue.
Good for you.
What are you guys wearing?
We are wearing...
Wow, really?
We've got the camouflage on, Julia.
The wrong color is what you guys are wearing.
Hey, we're company guys.
And you think you've got a friend, and then that happens.
Could have been something ugly like burnt orange or something.
Tried that last year. Eric Ibar with a tapper to first. Marwin spins and gets an out at second. Nice play by Marwin, who continues to play well at first. Two outs, Ibar at first. Shane Victorino at the plate. Struck out looking in the second. By the way, that play maybe looked routine with Marwin. What made it routine was the way he came on and got the baseball. And then that instinct to immediately turn and get the out at second. Victorino takes a strike.
That's probably the hardest thing about being a utilities guy, is being able to go out there and practice at these positions often enough to make those plays look routine.
Is he sweating that much, or has he been doused already tonight?
No, it's a moist evening. This is the play Ash is talking about. Kind of chopped to him, but see him go to the baseball. And the reason he spun like that is he caught it on the left side of his body. Turned his head, picked up his target, made a good strong throw. Fundamentally sound.
1-2 the count now on Victorino, who has twice in his career, with all those nice numbers we talked about in his first at bat, twice he has been a Rule 5 pickup, 2002 and 2004.
It's got to be some kind of record.
Shallow pop down the right side, dropping, and it drops in front of Springer. That'll put runners at first and third as Ibar goes to third. Now comes to the plate, the throw, and they got him. Hank Conger able to snap that tag in. And so that'll do it. The Angels with the 3-0 lead, playing aggressively here in the third inning.
First 22 games for Carlos, a little bit of a struggle offensively. 181, his 100th career home run during that time. But since the past 2 weeks, I should say, 327, 2 homers. He's moved down into that, or I should say up into the cleanup spot. We've seen Gomez a little bit of everywhere in the lineup for A.J. Hinch, but Gomez told me he likes where he is right now. He likes his at-bats right now. And guys, he also said when he's swinging hard, he's feeling pretty good, which we've seen him do a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, that's part of the routine for Carlos Gomez, the hard swing. He pops up on the right side. One out here in the 4th inning, and take a look at that final out of the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Pretty heads up by Marwin to turn and throw. Probably a lot of communication on the infield saying runner, which means that he is going and throw home. But Ibar tried to attack that toss in from Springer. It didn't work out so well.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what exactly led Ibar to go there. Did Springer slow anything down? Obviously not a bad throw. Lowry fouls it down the right side. Ball and a strike on Jed. Ibar's been a good shortstop for the Angels for a long time. And he's been one of their better offensive players. He's been right in the heart of the order much of the season. Jed Lowry hitting .240. Changeup hit in the air to center field. Trout is there. That's 2 outs here in the 4th. And Colby Rasmus comes to the plate.
Astro hitters just having a tough time with their timing against Jared Weaver and his mix. Fastball, curveball, cutter, slider, changeups.
That'll be kind of intriguing for Colby Rasmus. His brother pitches for the Angels. Corey Rasmus, 27 years of age.
Sibling rivalry.
Mom and Dad would probably just have a fit watching a matchup of the two. Ball on a strike on Colby. Rasmus stands at 19 home runs. Hit a towering drive to the second deck in Oakland. Two and two, 2 outs. 3-0 Angels. All 3 runs in the 2nd inning, and all 3 unearned against Dallas Keuchel. A crucial error committed by Dallas himself, and then a wild pitch. For whatever reason, Rasmus has had a tough go against the Angels on his career, hitting just .158.
Play by David. Seen him track down some not volleyballs, beach balls in this ballpark. We haven't seen any yet. Hails from Aliso Viejo.
He's one of the veterans of the circuit, isn't he?
Yeah, we see him quite often.
Check in with Julia once again.
Astros baseball offers incredible savings, such as the all-you-can-eat seats at Minute Maid Park. Available every game, this incredible deal offers endless savings and scores you a ticket to an unlimited ballpark favorite starting at only $35. For more information, visit astros.com/value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. The walk to Rasmus. He's aboard for Luis Valbuena. Valbuena, the DH tonight. Out in front, and there's kind of that topic you're talking about, just the inability on the changeup, the slow curveball, even the fastball to time it well.
He just mixes all of his pitches. He doesn't come after you with a set pattern. I mean, I've got bar graphs all over my computer screen, and they're all right around 22 to 25% on pitches that he throws at any given moment. Makes it tough because your first at bat you take a fastball, second at bat you go up there and say, hey, I'm going to attack that first pitch fastball, and then he pulls a string on you.
Inside corner. 1-2.
He's doing a good job of creating movement.
Infield not swung as much to the right side as a lot of teams do. 2-2 the count. Angels recently played the Dodgers, losing 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. Dodgers getting thumped tonight. Third inning, 10-0 Arizona leading over LA. Those Arizona Diamondbacks will be the opponent the final 3 games of the season for the Astros this year. That final trip, 3 games in Seattle and then on to Arizona for the final 3. Of course, the Astros would love to make those final 3 games really meaningless in the sense that they would have a 4-game plus lead.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Have yourself a little celebration and then get your work in Arizona and get ready for that postseason. Would be a lot of fun for these boys.
Diamondbacks can be a dangerous club. Weak swing, it's fouled at the plate. So Arizona thumping the Dodgers. Cubs are winning in the 9th inning at Philadelphia 7-3. These Cubbies act like a team that is dead set on getting into the postseason this year.
I always worry about those teams when you get into the playoffs. If they go in there hot and able to sneak in, man, they could destroy some playoff or postseason runs.
And Valbuena down on strikes. Just the second for Weaver tonight, but that does it in the 4th. Astros leave a man on the walk. We've played 3.5, 3-zip Angels.
Astro. It's brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues today. Remember to tweet us your best guess. Made his Major League debut in 1996 with Milwaukee. His middle name is Merritt, and he's a scout for an AL East team in the Georgia area. We'll announce who it is later.
Thanks, Julia. And you said he was drafted by what NFL team?
Oh, boy.
Catcher Carlos Perez leads off here in the Angels' fourth. 8-9-1 for the Angels. That's pitch number 74 for Keuchel as he gets in front. 0-2. Ground ball right side. Nice charge job again by Marwin as he gets the out. 1 up, 1 down in the fourth inning.
Chance, we're going to look at Toyota's drive to the playoffs. Check out those standings. Rangers winning that game today. Pick up that half game as the Astros continue to play here in LA. Yankees and Jays going at it today. I believe the Jays came out big on top of the Yankees. Some interesting numbers to look at down the road.
Toronto an 11-5 winner over the Yankees in New York. David Price is now 15-5 as he pitches for the Blue Jays. Yeah, that's the thing about the Blue Jays. They're going to score some runs. Popped up near second base. It's Altuve now backing into the outfield grass. Out number 2 here in the fourth inning. Back to the top with Cole Calhoun, who is 2 for 2 on his night. Dallas Keuchel has gone at least 6 innings in 39 consecutive starts. Club record and the longest active streak in the major leagues. Last major league pitcher to go 6 innings or more in 39 consecutive starts was Justin Verlander. He went 63 straight starts of 6 innings or more.
That's ridiculous.
And that ended in July of 2012.
Man.
So yeah, there's still a lot of work to go there for Dallas. But he's focused on this evening now, trailing 3-0 in the fourth inning.
It's going to take a battle to get him into that 6th inning here. A little more efficient too. He's got 80 pitches.
The Astros stay with that full shift on Calhoun. He is, it would seem anyway, to be one of those guys, the few guys, that's just kind of willing to shoot one the other way.
He's a good hitter. Take what they give you. And it seems like he's one of those guys that early on in the count he'll take his shots, but when he gets to that 2-strike count, he goes all in going the other way.
You know what he's also done? He's hit 23 home runs this year.
He jumped Greinke and Kershaw back-to-back nights just recently.
Yeah, I can kind of get the Greinke thing with Greinke being right-handed. Hitting one off of Kershaw, that's getting it done.
And by jumped, I mean hit a home run.
I was counting on that to be what you meant.
Well, I know that, you know, sometimes the baseball jargon gets kind of mixed into the conversation. I just want to make sure everybody's up to date.
Ground ball right side. Right to Altuve. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 fourth inning. Much needed for Dallas Keuchel. We played 4 innings, 3-0 Angels. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter.
You made that sound amazing.
Jerry Blancas just ran out of the TV truck. He'll be back shortly.
He's going to hook up the crew out there in the truck.
Marwin Gonzalez leads off here in the 5th inning. 3-0 Angels, all 3 runs unearned against Keuchel. Marwin Gonzalez a bunt single as he came to the plate with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, then was caught stealing. We mentioned that Toronto Blue Jays win over the Yankees. 16 hits pounded out. Josh Donaldson hit his 38th. Edwin Encarnacion number 31. Justin Smoke his 15th. Russell Martin had a pair for 19. That team wouldn't be much fun to face. Ball and 2 strikes now on Marwin. Nobody is waiting on that changeup.
Guys just cannot stay back. It's incredible, isn't it? Baseball's not even easy when the guy's throwing 85.
Baltimore Orioles had some fun today as Marwin goes down on strikes. 3 strikeouts now for Weaver. Orioles defeated Kansas City in Baltimore 14-8 and had 2 grand slams in the game. And the 2 grand slams came in 1 inning, the 8th. One out here in the 5th. Hank Conger, the 9-hitter at the plate. Orioles 14 runs on 12 hits today.
Still time for the Astros to do that.
It's even on that pitch. Out in front, kind of rolled over.
As a hitter, if you did you ever move in the box to adjust to a pitcher?
I did, only out of sheer panic.
Yeah. I mean, it was just to try something different because I didn't want to completely mess with my swing. But I've gotten closer to the mound to try and speed the pitch up. But I'm not sure I'd try and do that against Jared Weaver just because that breaking ball. Because that all of a sudden turns what would have been a maybe middle breaking ball into an upper middle pitch. Might be a little bit tougher to hit.
Conger able to lay off those last 2. As a 2-2 count. As a catcher, I watched hitters' feet all the time. But you don't always have an answer to what a hitter might try to do.
I was going to say, would Weaver have that answer, or would he
just take a little more off?
Yeah.
On the hands foul down the right side. Yeah, I think it's probably more the latter for Jared Weaver. He just doesn't have the gas to come in on you.
He's not afraid to, though. He's got that little bit of cut. What's amazing is he's able to throw 2 pitches on both sides of the plate, breaking in different ways. So he saw it with Marwin with a changeup on the outside corner, 74 miles an hour. Came back with a breaking ball, 74 miles an hour on the inside.
Curveball waving out in front. Conger, back-to-back strikeouts, 4 for Weaver. 2 outs and back to the top with Springer.
So crossfire motion, coming back with the breaking ball and just never gets there.
Julia's gotten here. Let's check in with Julia again.
Thank you, Ash. Root Sports and Academy Sports and Outdoors have teamed up to help you show your team's spirit. Starting tomorrow, stop by a participating Academy Sports and Outdoors store to pick up your free Houston Astros Crush City yard sign while supplies last. Visit rootsports.com/yard signs for a list of participating stores. Quantities are limited, so get yours fast before they run out.
Well, there you go. Little H-Town, little Crush City.
Crush City making a road trip.
And some. Is that glittery Houston Astros?
It's bedazzled.
Curveball stays inside. A ball and a strike on Springer, who is 1 for 2 tonight.
Kind of digging the H-Town hat.
She's got the straw that stirs the drink, I think.
Stole that from Reggie, huh?
I think so. Reggie was the straw. Curveball hit high down the left field side, deep at the foul pole, but not quite deep enough. Foul territory. And that play up against the railing. Did he make it? Shane Victorino comes down empty.
No, the umpire put his foul ball.
No, he came down empty.
I was watching the umpire. The umpire put a right hand up immediately and then called it off. But Victorino paying the price right there with the maximum effort.
Victorino saying maybe a fan might have interfered.
Yep.
I think Jared Weaver is asking the same thing with the home plate umpire. I don't know. I don't see anybody
interfering, but he may have caught the ball going into the stands, but you can't see it when his hand hit the rail. The ball was jarred loose and fell into the stands.
Yeah, you've got to be able to control the baseball.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing the NFL doesn't make a call on this.
Well, feet were not in bounds, so. And you've got to have both feet in. Mike Scioscia went out there. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be a simple foul ball. The Astros need to find a way to make a little of this happen. They've scored 8 or more runs in 5 of their last 9 games and averaging 6 runs a game in that span.
Well, in those games that they don't score, they literally don't score. That's the problem. Because we saw it. 2 games in Oakland with sandwiched around a shutout.
Stat killer.
And reality.
Changeup got him. Striking out the side, Jared Weaver. He's got 5 on the night. Half a game in the books. 3-0 Angels. Let's take another look at that play down the left field side that Shane Victorino went after and appeared to catch momentarily.
Yeah, he had it. And then as soon as that glove hit that rail, it shot out of there. But I don't know what the argument could be right there.
Yeah. Nobody interfered. Got to control the baseball. Got to keep both feet in bounds. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3 unearned runs against Dallas Keuchel, who just brought pitch number 85 on the night. Going to take some dealing right now to get through 6 innings for Dallas. Tomorrow night, Lance McCullers goes against Hector Santiago, all-star for the Angels this year. That's an 8:05 Houston start. And then on Sunday at 2:35, Mike Fiers goes to the mound against Andrew Heaney. Mike Trout has struck out looking and walked. Pitch is driven to left center field, long run Gomez. He'll get there on the warning track and have to adjust to make the catch.
Running play, get a good look and see how far Carlos Gomez had to go. Ball just kept drifting.
So Mike Trout erased here in the 5th. It brings up Pujols. Albert takes a strike.
Ball carried on Carlos a little more than I think he thought it would. You can see him running straight across and having to veer towards the wall to make that play.
Another strike inside edge. Pujols not happy. I think Carlos ran to the spot that he thought the ball was going to be at and then had to adjust. Not a lot of biting on that changeup of Keuchel. The change for Weaver tonight, however, maybe untouched at this point. 2-2.
Really seems like the Angels' adjustment to Dallas Keuchel has been make him throw strikes. We know that Dallas Keuchel has a tendency, when he's going good, to work off those edges with that good sinker, changeup, slider combination.
On the hands, the ground ball to third. A lot of time for Lowry, who gets the out as Pujols continues to really struggle with that bad toe.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule. It's going to be brought to you by Progressive. Just started this series here after leaving Oakland. Had that day off on Thursday. Now get 2 more here in Anaheim over the weekend before heading into Arlington, Texas for a big matchup between number 1 and number 2. Astros try and create some separation before they head back home and pretty much turn that road trip into a homestand. A's for 3, Angels for 3, Texas for 3. That will be the last homestand of the year.
The Oakland A's, after finishing the series with the Astros, moved on to Arlington, Texas. And the Rangers 4-0 winners tonight. So they try to creep back. Colby Lewis went the distance, 2-hitter over 9 innings. 4 strikeouts, didn't walk a man.
Had a perfecto going there for about 7 innings. 6 innings, I think. Danny Valencia had a double in that 7th inning off of Colby.
Valencia has been a hot hitter, tough hitter. 28,000 on hand in Arlington. That was Jesse Chavez for the Oakland A's taking the loss. Yeah, Colby Lewis has kind of quietly moved along. That's 15 wins for Lewis.
Pitched pretty consistently in that Texas Rangers uniform.
Mitch Moreland had a double to drive in a pair in the first inning. Rougned Odor chipped in with an RBI double in that first inning, and then Shin-Soo Choo drove in a run in the 7th, and that was all the scoring. 4-0 Texas Rangers. A lot of pitches needed here in the 5th inning. The next thrown by Keuchel will be number 100.
Nobody stirring in that Astros bullpen.
So 100 pitches should get Dallas through, as a nice play is made by Altuve over the shoulder. 1-2-3, fifth inning. But through 5, 3-0. Angels lead it.
September 11th, 1999, Jose Lima defeats the Cubs 5-3 to become Houston's first 20-game winner in 10 years. Tony Eusebio chips in with 2 hits, including a bomb. There's a list of 20-plus game winners in Houston franchise history. Pretty good list, man.
There was a lot of Lima time going on in those days.
Lima was getting it done. Hamby with 22. Roy O's on there twice.
Altuve out in front on the slow curveball, yanks it foul.
Is it me or is Weaver throwing that lazy breaking ball to just get these guys to swing and hit a foul ball for strike one?
Mark Gubaza, the analyst for the Angels on the TV side, talked about that very thing with the changeup as well. He'll just throw them up there high and let guys pull them foul. Altuve lifts it to right center field. Pretty good depth as Trout is back on the edge of the warning track to make the play. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th.
Join the Astros on Saturday, September 19th, as they take on the A's. 10,000 fans will receive an Evan Gattis bobblehead presented by AT&T. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. The bearded basher.
Well, that's good. I like that one.
I'm going to hashtag it. Give me a minute.
Carlos Correa at the plate is 1 for 2. Infield single in the first inning. And picked up a stolen base, part of a double steal that he and Jose Altuve put together in that first inning. Looked like the Astros might have something brewing, but Carlos Gomez flied out, Jed Lowry popped out, and that was it. And that's been the only real threat of the night for Houston. He would appear to have been waiting a long time for the Angels to get back into postseason play.
It's a pretty solid playoff beard, though. Told you Santa spends his off season in Southern California.
Wonder if he ever had his own corner at the ballpark. Maybe haven't said this all night long, so better try it. Correa late on a fastball, fouls it. Washington was beaten again. 2-1, Miami wins it. And now 3-2. Weaver has walked just 1. Make it 2.
One out walk to Correa as Carlos Gomez comes to the plate.
Pretty good AB. Good job of laying off the slider in this 3-2 count. Also off the edge. Recognize that spin. See where it starts. Let it go.
By the way, Jared Cozart started that game from Miami. The win over Washington, 5 shutout innings. Got an ERA just above 4.5. Again, Weaver misses away.
Jared Weaver won 18 games last year. Won 18-9 through 213 in the third innings. It's a big number.
Carlos Gomez says that when he's feeling good, or rather the other way, when he takes this kind of swing, means he's feeling good, but
watch that front side, absolutely unloads. I'd like to see that stay closed just a little bit longer. He kept it closed a little bit longer, might get on top of that pitch and drive it.
Sliders away. 2-1 the count. So really of concern for the Astros right now, obviously the Angels, who are 5.5 back, and the Texas Rangers with the win today, 4-0 over the Oakland A's, are 2 games back. Tampa Bay down Boston 8-4. The Mets winners at Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves have just fallen off a cliff. Another big swing as Gomez fouls it. And Julia, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, yeah, you saw Gomez's helmet fly off, as it does every once in a while. I asked him about this. He said, the size I'm supposed to be wearing batting helmet wise hurts my head, so I wear a size bigger. So that kind of explains a lot.
Two and two. Pitch is fouled off. Julia's got all that inside stuff with these guys.
Well, I'm glad she figures it out, because all of us are pretty concerned with the helmet flying all over the place.
We're in the 6th inning, 3-0 Angels. 3 unearned runs. Curveball ram foul.
How many times did you go down to a knee on a swing? If I went down to a knee on a swing, I'd be in, the trainers would both be out there simultaneously trying to figure out what happened to me.
There was a day when there were a lot of pitchers around that would watch swings, and if you were kind of showing that kind of swing,
it's a different era, man. Yeah, you couldn't get away with
greeted with horsehide.
But I tell you what, if Carlos can get a hold of one, it's going to go.
Correa on the move. Pitch is hit high and deep left center field. He just got a hold of one. It's a 3-2 ball game. That's number 4 for Gomez.
Well, how about that? He's been unleashing that swing all day long. Finally has the opportunity to stay back on one. Hopefully that's the electricity the Astros needed. He's going to get himself some gummy bears, I'm guessing. But here we go, that big swing. Looked like it wanted to be a cutter that just backed up. Came back into the barrel of Carlos Gomez. And when you get a big swing like that, it has a tendency to create a little bit of an uppercut. And sometimes those slower pitches down the zone allow those guys to get the barrel to it. And Gomez just unleashed on that one.
Well, the Astros have the only 2 earned runs of the night. Trailed by a run here in the 6th.
kind of see him, that stance he's talking about. He kind of lays back like he's relaxed and just kind of tries to time the pitcher. When the pitcher comes at him is when he starts his load. It worked that time.
Got a lot of explanations there in the dugout.
It's fun to talk about those things.
Right-hander Fernando Salas getting loose in the Angels' pen. 2-2 on Jed Lowry. 1 out in the inning. Altuve started things flying deep to right center field. Correa then walked. And Carlos Gomez has hit his 4th as a member of the Astros. Little slider on the hands. That's strikeout number 6 now for Weaver.
Just needs some of that infectious enthusiasm to rub off on everybody else in that dugout. Wake these guys up, get them going. 3-2 game now. Makes that the hard part for me is that it makes that error by Keuchel a little more exaggerated because those 2 runs came in after that error. It'd be a 2-1 lead right now.
The Angels got their 3 runs back in the 2nd inning. Keuchel delivered a wild pitch that brought the first run of the night home. But a ground ball back to the mound. It was hit by Taylor Featherston. One hopper saw Keuchel leap and he overleaped it. Ball hit him on the heel of the glove.
Getting some love. Talked about Carlos Gomez laying into one and then he does it. Makes me look good. Love that these people are out there watching this ball game.
2-2 now on Rasmus. Should Rasmus reach? Luis Valbuena waits on deck. 100 pitches now for Jared Weaver. We also had 100 pitches from from Dallas Keuchel. As Rasmus takes strike 3, a couple of strikeouts in the inning, but one very big swing by Carlos Gomez as he makes it a 1-run game. 3-2 Angels.
For the Brewers, merit the middle name. was a scout for an AL East team. He is Brian Moeller. Brian Merritt Moeller, guys.
Nice, Julia.
Another quality teammate, Brian Moeller. Great guy.
We've got a tight one now. 3-2 Angels. Bottom of the 6th inning. Dallas Keuchel back on the hill. Pitch number 102 as he tries to get at least 6 innings. And how he would love to be able to leave with a lead in this one. One and 2 the count. David Freese leading it off. Oliver Perez getting it loose in the Astros pen. Dallas Keuchel tied with Felix Hernandez of Seattle, leading the league with 17 wins. Long run for Springer to the line and able to make the play. Out number 1 here in the 6th. Going to bring up the shortstop, Eric Ibar, 1 for 2 on the night.
Still got those legs, doesn't he? I was anticipating a dive because off the right-handed bat, he usually slices toward the line, but he chased that one down and borderline ran past it.
See Josh Fields also getting it loose. Very similar, by the way, to that play that recently happened to Springer and the Astros, where the ball got away from George and led to a loss. 2-0 the count. Ibar hitting in front of Shane Victorino. I think George is just really trying to round back into 100% shape.
It's got to be frustrating for him. We saw him hit a couple balls hard up the middle, ended in outs against the Oakland A's. And then you come in the first game, you've got to face a guy throwing 66 miles an hour to 85 miles an hour with all kinds of movement. Doesn't make it easy.
Sonny Gray of the Oakland A's started the night leading in the ERA category, just 1,000th of a point in front of Dallas Keuchel, 228 to 229. See, that would be 100th of a point. But Dallas Keuchel with the 5 1/3 innings without allowing an earned run tonight actually moves in front at 223 for the moment. And another strikeout. 6 strikeouts now for Dallas. 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Bottom dropped out of that one.
We're going to pitch number 110 now for Keuchel.
Tell you what, he gets out of this relatively quickly. You know he's going to go into AJ and ask to stay in.
Looks like he's settling into the strike zone more consistently now. Angels without a hit over the last 2 2/3 innings. Last hit picked up by Shane Victorino to end the 3rd inning. That was the play that the little looper dropped down the right field side. Eric Ibar tried to score all the way from first base and was gunned down at the plate.
Yikes.
Got the lights flashing now at the stadium.
It's your favorite part, isn't it?
It is.
Tell you what, that's more enjoyable than the wave for me. Not
now,
a wave guy.
Now, is this the
light
wave?
Millennial wave.
Slider got him. Couple of strikeouts in the inning. 7 on the night for Dallas Keuchel. 113 pitches for Dallas. We played 5 1/2.
40th consecutive start of 6+ innings pitched. That is now a franchise record. Dallas Keuchel on top of it. done. You are now taking a peek at Fernando Salas, making his 60th appearance on the season. He's got that 3-2 record out of the bullpen, 12 holds under his belt. He's given up 6 bombs in 54 innings.
Now, if the Astros could put a couple of runs or more on the board right now, Dallas Keuchel would be in a position to pick up a W. It's the 7, 8, 9 spots coming up for the Astros here in the 7th inning. Luis Valbuena leads it off 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Weaver left with the 7 strikeouts. Valbuena now hitting .209 on the year. .22 home runs. He's one back of Evan Gattis for the club leadership. One and 2 the count. Salas just blows the 91-mile-an-hour heater by. Preston Tucker may be getting ready for an opportunity to pinch hit. And Dallas Keuchel watching intently here now in the 7th inning. Will Harris is up in the Astros pen. Three and 2 the count. And how the Astros could use base runners right about now. One out on the strikeout. That's 8 on the night of Astros hitters. Check in with Julia again.
Thanks, Ash. The Coca-Cola Value Days package is one of the best ballpark bargains. Available for select Monday through Thursday regular season games. This offer scores you a ticket, hot dog, soda, popcorn, all for $16. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Coke Value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. Marwin Gonzalez stands in. He has had a bunt single in the 2nd inning, then was caught stealing and struck out. So 1 for 2 on the night. Marwin hitting a very impressive .283.
Marwin swinging a good bat. Bet you AJ held his breath when he saw him diving into second base on that stolen base. Looked like he jammed that hand a little bit. Seems to be doing okay.
The Angels bullpen is 9th in the American League in ERA at .374. Kansas City with the best pen. The Astros are 3rd. But when you add up all of the pitching, starters and relievers, the Astros are number 1 in that category. Pitch is ripped but foul, way foul down the right side. The Astros with 11 men with double-digit home runs. Jake Marisnick would be next in line. He has 9. And we mentioned it the other day, the Astros are tied with the 2004 Tigers as the only teams ever to have at least 11 hitters in double digits with long balls. Jed Lowry has 8. Those would be the 2 guys that would seem to have a reasonable chance to get to double digits. Marwin already a part of that list, but swings on the pitch in the dirt. And now is thrown out by the catcher. 2 outs on strikeouts in the 7th. And Hank Conger comes to the plate.
For me, watching Marwin over the last couple years, he's had a tough time with that slider, breaking ball down and in. Has a tough time laying off it.
When I had a bat in my hands, that typically was because I was trying to be too quick. As Conger hits a towering fly ball into right field near the line, Calhoun makes the play in a 1-2-3 7th. So Dallas Keuchel is not coming back out for the 7th inning. He will not pick up a W tonight, but the Astros still a shot to pick one up. 3-2 Angels. We'll stay here for God Bless America.
We ask that you please rise and remove your caps. Prior to singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, please join Malia Savette in singing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet
Pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. It is going to be young right-hander Lance McCullers going on the mound for the Houston Astros with that 5-5 record. That whip creeping down to 1. How about 101 strikeouts for the young man in his rookie campaign, going up against left-hander Hector Santiago. 145 Ks. And how you doing out there?
I'm doing great. I would like to see the Astros bats rally a little bit. Trailing 3-2 here in the 7th inning as Josh Fields comes on to work at Dallas Keuchel tonight. A little shaky early on, and it was very surprisingly his defense that leaves the Astros trailing at this point. Not a single earned run against Dallas tonight. He will take over leadership in ERA, but bottom line right now, it's all about the W's. Carlos Perez, the catcher, leads it off against Fields. '47th appearance on the year for Josh. '58 strikeouts in 43 in the third innings. Fields in front, 0-2. It's Carlos Perez, Taylor Featherston, and the leadoff man Cole Calhoun for the Angels in the seventh. 2 runs, 5 hits, an error for the Astros. A very costly error committed by Keuchel. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Angels. And the only scoring for Houston, a 2-run home run, that by Carlos Gomez, that came in the 6th inning. Carlos now with 4 long balls for Houston. With those 6 innings of no earned runs against Keuchel, ERA at 2.22. And again, Sonny Gray started the night leading the American League at 2.28.
2.22. Playing at Minute Maid Park, and that's the reason his ERA is so low, is because he's 13-0 at home.
Perez continues to foul off pitches. It's 1-2. I think some pitchers have the perception that Minute Maid Park is not a friendly place to pitch. Take, for example, Felix Hernandez of Seattle.
Yeah, he did not like it this year.
For Dallas Keuchel, it's been the road that's been his enemy. This one's going to stay in play on the infield. Jose Altuve. And 1 out. Take a look at the numbers on Dallas tonight.
He had a good night. I know the numbers don't dictate it, but the ERA at 0, I mean the earned runs at 0, those errors killing him. A couple of wild pitches led to base runners moving, but still kept his composure, able to get that quality start as far as the rules are concerned with that 6 strong, 3 runs given up, but technically no earned runs, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a sharp night early, but he did string together 3 consecutive innings without a base runner, 4 through the 6th.
It's his 24th quality start this season.
Hit in the air to center field. Gomez is there. 2 down here in the 7th inning, and the leadoff man Cole Calhoun comes to the plate.
Houston Methodist helps us get to know the lumberjack. Evan Gattis, favorite player growing up. I like this one. Vladimir Guerrero won himself an MVP here at Anaheim. Favorite vacation is the Caveman Islands. Go-to karaoke song is Escape by Rupert Holmes. Somebody reached down deep to come up with that one.
You know that song, right?
I do not.
I've heard you singing it numerous times.
No, that was our stage manager singing it.
Oh, I see.
You a big pina colada guy?
No. No, but apparently
Rupert. Think about it.
Apparently Rupert is. Calhoun is 2 for 3. It's going to be a 1-2-3 7th inning for Josh Fields. We've played a full 7 innings. Angels on top 3-2.
Racking up hit after hit, year after year. This was a big one. Some high cheese turned on, barreled up nicely. Hit off the middle of the wall for his 800th hit on his career. Big night for Jose Altuve. There'll be plenty more to come after that. Still got a couple more years on that contract he signed. Did it in only 647 games. Well ahead of the pace.
Yeah, he's way ahead of the other guys, Jeff Bagwell on that list. And of course, anybody you can think of that has played with the Astros through the years. But Cesar Cedeno, Hall of Famer Craig Biggio. Pretty impressive stuff. Right-hander Joe Smith comes on. Third pitcher of the night for the Angels.
Joe Smith, he's had a rough go of it here of late for these Angels. In this current homestand, 2 2/3 innings pitched in 3 games. He's allowed 2 runs in those 2 2/3 innings. Took the loss on Saturday versus Texas.
Top of the order for the Astros here in the 8th inning. Time to light it up. George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa. The only 2 Houston runs in the 6th inning, a 1-out walk to Correa, and then Carlos Gomez launched to left center. Springer has a hit in 3 at-bats.
This will be the inning. Now the Astros are strong on their offense. 7th inning on. Now they've got the top of the lineup up. Springer, Altuve, Correa. To start.
And hit by a pitch.
It's not how Joe Smith wanted to see it start. Just hang out there for a little bit. Take one for the team. Start this inning off with a base runner. Beautiful.
Right on that left thigh. So Springer aboard. If you're thinking running game, keep in mind that Carlos Perez throws well from behind the plate. Jose Altuve 1 for 3 with that double you saw back in the 1st inning. And has stolen a base. 37 to lead the league.
How about last year? Through 74 innings, Joe Smith gave up 45 hits. This year in 58, he's given up 59 hits. Usually he has that good sidearm sink and slide.
He's got his mind on George Springer for the moment. George has stolen 14 and has been caught just 3 times. Having a tough time getting it together here in the 8th. The Astros could use a win. The Texas Rangers have already won rather, as this little broken bat flare almost drops fair.
Wow, that would have been more than special.
It's a perfect wiffle ball bat that's been dropped on the first base side there by Altuve.
Good call. This might be in the kitchen of Altuve. Jam. Get some peanut butter with that jam sandwich.
Well, that looked like it was going to drop fair for a moment, didn't it?
I was hoping it would.
Oh, and 1 the count on Jose. Ground ball. Could be 2. Ibar makes it unassisted at second on to Crone, and they get the double play, and a very costly ground ball induced by Joe Smith.
It's a big double play considering the situation and who's coming up next. Ball was hit well, but well enough to be able to double up a speedy Jose Altuve.
So just like that, bases empty, 2 outs for Carlos Correa. Carlos takes the slider for a strike. Carlos Gomez waits on deck. Lance McCullers tomorrow night against Hector Santiago. 8:05 start. 2:35 on Sunday is the start time. Mike Fiers goes to the hill against lefty Andrew Heaney.
We know how well the Astros have played at home. How about one-run games at home? The Astros are 13-7. Away from home, 6-16 in one-run games.
Hot looking is Correa, and that does it. Leadoff man Springer hit by a pitch, but only 3 come to the plate. Through 7.5, 3-2 Angels lead it. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Three-2 Angels on top of the Astros. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and C.J. Cron coming to the plate, and they'll do it against right-hander Pat Neshek.
Tough assignment for Pat Neshek. Last time we saw him was up in Oakland on the 9th. When 1 inning, had a punch out, only threw 15 pitches.
Pitcher number 3 for Houston tonight. Dallas Keuchel went his 6 innings. Did not allow an earned run, but committed a huge error that led to 3 unearned runs. Or rather, that was part of the 3 unearned runs. A wild pitch also factored in. And I guess it's fair to say the error led to the 3 unearned runs. Neshek falls behind on Trout. 2-1. Trout has drawn a walk in the 2nd inning. That's the only time he's reached tonight. Has also struck out and flied out. Trout hitting .292. It's rare to see that hitter point down to first base. Don't you call it, let that man call it. And the leadoff walk. Neshek wants to know if it was outside. And again, we check in with Julia.
The most popular way to follow the action of Astros baseball is with MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay, reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more. Get the MLB.com at BAT app now. Ash.
Thank you, Julia. Mike Trout becomes the first base runner for the Angels since the 3rd inning. Pujols is 0 for 3. With the fact that the Angels lead 3-2 and that Hank Conger has thrown out just one base stealer this year, I'd be very surprised if Trout is not on the move at some point here.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's got to be going. Pick up an insurance run if you're the Angels.
One hopper to short. Nice play by Correa. They'll get the out and the double play. And Carlos Correa able to back up and make this gem.
Something kind of special. Got kind of caught in between. That wasn't a very hard hit line drive. And Correa wasn't sure whether or not to go get it. Does a good job of sitting back, but almost turned it into an in-between hop. Gets in the kitchen of Pujols, but plays that nicely. How about the throw with that angle? That's not easy to do. Get his body in position to make a throw like that to Altuve? Not bad.
You think Altuve, as he took that throw, was thinking it's going to be an easy double play, or was he thinking there's no shot here on a double play?
I think as soon as he got the ball, he knew it was a double play, knowing the base runner.
Knowing Pujols going down the line. Cleanup man C.J. Cron at the plate. Gets jammed, hits a ground ball inside the bag at first base. And down the line, Springer gets to it quickly. It'll be a 2-out single for Cron, his first hit of the night. And it brings up David Freese.
Oh, excuse me, base hit right there. There was no intent on Cron's part to go that way. It just got blown up.
These two teams meet 3 more times in Houston, September 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. Texas Rangers winners tonight. And the Astros need a win to keep it at 2.5 games between the two clubs as Brent Strom comes to the mound. If the Angels hang on and win this game, the Astros will see that lead back to 1.5 over the Texas Rangers. And by the way, the Angels would move to 4.5 back. So as they'll tell you in any clubhouse, every game big. Daniel Robertson now comes on. He is the pinch runner down at first base. Caleb Cowart is the pinch hitter now. He swings it for David Freese. That's the 5 spot for the Halos. By the way, on that double play grounded into, Trout was trying to take off on the pitch, starting to spin his wheels, and stopped. And that might have factored in as well in enabling the Astros to get that double play.
Well, it definitely saved Altuve's life.
No question about that.
Ishak is kind of sneaky quick to home plate. He's got that funky delivery. But with that slide step, he's got to get that ball there quickly. Takes a lot of the pressure off Conger. Also gives that base runner a different look.
By the way, Daniel Robertson, the pinch runner down at first base, is yet to steal a bag this year. It's a big secondary lead, but no throw from Conger.
He's actually going and stopped. Same thing Mike Trout did.
And it's probably part of what you were saying about Ishak being kind of quick there.
They teach base stealers, you get a break, you get a good one, go. But if you see that slide step, shut it down. And I think that's what happened right there.
Ground ball to Altuve. 2 nice hops. And that'll do it in the 8th inning. 8 innings have been played. It's 3-2. Angels lead it as we go to the 9th inning. 4-5-6 coming up for Houston.
Responsible for the 2 runs on the board for the Houston Astros is Carlos Gomez with this blast right here, going down and getting it, putting everything he's got into this blast into left center field. He knew he got it. Astros are happy he got it. I'd like to see a couple more of those this inning, put them ahead.
Some changes for the Angels. They've got a new pitcher. Houston Street is the closer for them. They also have Efrain Navarro at first base, and Caleb Coward takes over at third.
Houston Street got that 33rd save against the Dodgers last Wednesday when he pitched 1 perfect inning. Ranked 2nd in the American League with those 33 saves.
So here in the 9th inning, Carlos Gomez leads it off, followed by Jed Lowry and Colby Rasmus. The Astros 5 hits on the night, the Angels with 6. And the Angels with 3 unearned runs. That is the difference. Carlos Gomez 1 for 3. That one, the big one that Blummer talked about, 6th inning home run, 2-run job. Carlos Correa had walked in front of him. Starts the bat, holds it back, 2-0.
Yourself in a hitter's count. You know, Carlos Gomez wants to take that big swing. I'd like to see him take a nice under control big swing and drive a gap right here and get in scoring position.
That's a good swing as he fouls it off.
Houston Street does not give in. Fastball counts, usually goes that slider to right-handers. Still got a good changeup split finger that he throws to left-handers. One of the few pitchers that actually pitches with an open webbed glove too.
Most pitchers like to hide the baseball in the glove. Street has allowed 5 dingers in 54 2/3 innings. He allows just over 2 walks per 9 innings. Strikes out almost a man an inning. Ground ball to short. Ibar charges and makes the play. And out number 1 in the 9th.
Stay tuned for Astros postgame presented by Houston Methodist. Bart Ennis and Mike Stanton breaking down all the action, giving you some valuable insight.
With 1 out, Jed Lowry stands in 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Jed now on an 0 for 12 run. Fastball just keeps running away. It's 2-0.
See if Jed gets a fastball right here in that 2-0 count. Saw Carlos Gomez get the slider.
There's the outside edge. 2-1 the count.
Good running fastball just on that edge. And you know, when you talk about edges, as a player, I always felt, I mean, you don't want to give them too much off the edges, but a baseball was usually more than enough for a pitcher to work with, I felt. But only on the outer edge. I didn't want that baseball off the inside corner. That's too close to me.
You're kind of talking about that black region of the plate.
Yeah.
Line shot to left field, but coming on to make the play, Victorino. Lowry stings it, but it's just the 2nd out of the 9th inning, and now it's in the hands of Colby Rasmus.
Yeah, ball hit well. That was a good AB from Jed Lowry again. Shoots it the other way, but Victorino, Johnny on the spot.
Down to an out with Rasmus. Colby 0 for 2 on the night with a walk. And Preston Tucker waiting on deck. So if he gets a chance, he'll bat for Luis Valbuena. Two 2-0 on Colby. Right now you let it fly if you get a pitch to handle. He just keeps working on that outside edge.
He really does. He's just daring him to go the other way with it, knowing that's the biggest part of this ballpark. Colby Rasmus has plenty of power on the pull side, but here at Anaheim, you've really got to drive it for a left-handed hitter to go oppo.
Stays right out there and misses. 3-1. Alfonso Marquez has done a nice steady job this evening. Calls this one. That'll fill it.
Not too sure about that one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a little part of the
that's
baseball
that pitch I'm
catching
talking
it.
about. Yep.
That's just laying that ball right on that black region. So 3-2 on Colby. Down on strikes. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 9th inning. As Houston Street comes in, closes it down, and Colby Rasmus